Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be continuing our story reading the entire Bible. We finished Joseph's story yesterday, so now we're reading called Baby in a Basket based on Exodus chapter 1 through verse 1 through chapter 2 of verse 10. These are what the pages we're starting on looks like. Alright, so let's go and get into this. There are too many Hebrews in Egypt. If we had a war, they might turn against us. I must find a way to keep them from causing trouble. As the Pharaoh thinks to himself, the new Pharaoh in Egypt has forgotten that the Hebrews' ancestor Joseph saved Egypt from the famine. From his royal yacht on the Nile, the king frowns as he watches the Hebrew shepherds with their rich flocks. The next day, the king inspects a new building project. We need thousands more workers to get the job done. This sounds like a perfect job for the Hebrews. They will work as slaves. It will save us money, and then those foreigners won't be able to cause trouble. So from daylight to dark, Hebrew men and boys are driven from their homes and forced to work under the whip-crackling slave drivers. So slaves, had been around for, thousands of years, even all the way back then. These are people, of course, they're not the same, as far as, one of the Hebrew and, but, they are all the same, really color and all that. But that didn't matter to them, they were still different people. They were still lesser people, and he was the Pharaoh, and he felt that he could do whatever he wants. So in order to build what he wanted to, he took even boys, so young, teenagers and things, and men, and drove them, and then from worked them. And the bad part about slaves is, especially back then, is they didn't feed them well or anything. They didn't hardly give them rest, and they would still whip them and all that stuff as they're trying to work. And you gotta imagine how hot it probably is, during this time. So I mean, this is just horrible. But with God's blessing, the Hebrews flourish and grow stronger even under the harsh conditions. We work them harder every day, but there are more Hebrews than before. The king will not be happy about this. When Pharaoh hears the report, I'll take care of the slaves. Throw every Hebrew boy, baby, into the Nile River. So, more were being born and things like that. So he figured, okay, of course, more were being born things. So they want to take all the baby boys and throw them into the river, basically to drown them and kill them. And, that would take off a large piece of population, because for one, you're taking a lot of babies away, and for two, boys and will get with girls and eventually carry on having their own family and things as far as that nature, and now they're all dead. So it was a very evil thing to do, really. And but to him, he didn't care. He had the power, and he felt that he could do whatever he wanted. The cruel order is carried out. Hebrew mothers and fathers risk their lives to protect their sons, but the king's men never give up on their search. Night after night, Amram, a Hebrew from the tribe of Levi, hurries home from work, afraid that the soldiers have visited his home. Oh God, help us keep our new baby boy safe from the Egyptians. So he thinks to himself as he hurries home. There's Maram. The soldiers must not have come. Quickly, Amram enters the house and bolts the doors. Surely God is with us. Our baby is 3 months old, and still Pharaoh's soldiers have not found him. God will help me find a way to keep our son safe. These are the next pages we're getting ready to read. So, the next day, Jochebed prepares a little basket. Keep watch, Maram. I'm almost finished. So she makes a basket. Then, carefully avoiding the Egyptian soldiers, she takes the basket and her tiny son to the river. His baskets will float like the little boat. Keep watch over him. Miriam, "Oh, my son, it tears my heart to send you away. May God watch over you and protect you." And you gotta imagine how hard this is, because this is her son, right? And he's only 3 months old. They just had him, and she's thinking that she'll never get to see him grow up or anything like that, and how horrible that must have been. But, for his safety and things, she put him in the basket to float him away to the river. Miriam hides in the, and, she orders, Miriam to keep a watch on him, just to see what happens. She hides in the bulrushes and watches. The princess, will she see the baby basket? So the princess is at this, at a part of the river, and the basket floats to her way. She says, "Look, what a strange little basket. I wonder what's inside it." The maid brings the basket to the princess, who opens it. "A Hebrew baby? Listen to him cry. We have to find someone to feed and care for him." Just then, Miriam steps out of the bushes. "Shall I find a Hebrew nurse for the baby?" "Yes, bring me one to me as soon as you can." "So, mother, come right away. The princess has found our baby, and she wants she wants a Hebrew nurse to take care of him. God has answered my prayer. Miriam, my son, will be safe with the princess." So she goes and gets her, because that's her baby or whatever. She goes gets her mother, and that's her baby. So she'll still get to take care of him secretly, and assure his safety and survival. At the river's edge, the princess talks to him. "Take care of this baby and care for him. If anyone questions you, send a word to me at once. I'm naming him Moses because I pulled him out of the water." So she names him Moses because she pulls him out of the water. I believe Moses means something, or might mean like water specifically, but you can always look it up. So this is what's going to carry on to the great Moses. As I was saying yesterday, one of the most famous men in the Bible. He did many great things, and he had many great stories, and we're getting ready to find out how all that turns out. And started out of his life, if she never would have put him in that river, but God guided her to do so, because he had great things planned for Moses. So, no matter how your start may seem or whatever in this life, always remember that God's got a plan for everyone. So, thank you guys for watching. As always, take it easy, and I'll catch you guys next week.